Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you. I hope you're doing well. You'll be glad to know we're all done with the first round over in Wimbledon and we head into round two. As always, we'll be going through each and every one of these matches for today. Be sure to get your predictions in the comments and make sure you're checking out that pinned comments. That's where you'll find anything that I'm going for personally. Before we get started, like the video, get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're new, I'd appreciate it if you did. And if you want to support the channel, there is a link in the description or that pinned comment. It's entirely up to you. Do not feel obliged. It's only if you want to. But very well then. Quick recap of the first round. More importantly, how did we get on in day two? There was nothing official from me. I just sat on all of the outrights and pretty much all of them still stand. Hugo and Bert. Couldn't believe that. Can you believe Hugo and Bert? It was worth a punt anyway. It's alright. I'll lose no sleep over that. Certainly not. But let me know. Did you win? Did you lose? Did you just come close? And just a quick one before we get into these. Like I said at the start, first round is all done with. Very, very happy for that. Look, that was one hell of a first round, was it not, folks? I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that. I like to assume at this point, we've gotten rid of at least the vast majority of those that do not deserve to be in the tournament. One or two will inevitably slip through the cracks. But nevertheless, it is most definitely game on over in Wimbledon. It's definitely starting to heat up now. So let's get it on, shall we not? So first off, who have we got? Today we've got Shintaro Mochizuki coming up against Garin Khachanov. First one of the day, and probably, well, it's actually not, because we've got Carlos Alcaraz, but just behind Alcaraz, second biggest favourite of the day is Garin Khachanov, 1.15 to be precise. It's a shame, innit? It's a shame, because I think Mochizuki's been playing decent ever since he's come onto the grass. 11-2 to be precise. That's fairly decent. That is a lot better than most. But unfortunately for him, he's coming up against a version of Garin Khachanov, who in my opinion is most definitely playing his best version of tennis over on the grass this season. 7-2 for him. Much better. This is much better than anything we've seen from Khachanov all year round. That's a fact. I think Mochizuki, I'm not going to say he was lucky to get past Zappieri, because I feel like he probably would have beat him if the game would have carried on, even if it didn't get carried over. But he continued, and he won anyway. Fair play, very happy there. You go in 5 sets with someone like Zappieri, I'm not too sure you're ready for what Khachanov's going to be able to bring. I'm not. Excuse me. He won 2 games prior to this tournament as well. Over in that exhibition, he beat Zizou Bergs and he beat Djokovic. Now, I know we said about the exhibitions, especially before these big tournaments, big players don't really take this seriously. Excuse me, fucking hell. Big players aren't really taking the exhibitions seriously, especially with a slam coming round. But I don't know what Zizou Berg's excuse was. Because even if he was saving himself for Wimbledon, he looked absolute crap. But that's neither here nor there. My point is, I think Khachanov just gets this one done. Unfortunately, there's not a lot Mochizuki will be able to do in this one, I'm afraid. Big dog, big spread, low total, I imagine. You know where the value is in that. I couldn't advise you to take Mochizuki on them points. I would not be surprised if Garin Khachanov is not only a step above, but a couple of steps above, But we'll leave that one there. We'll assess that situation tomorrow. We'll see how he gets on. Like I say, you're not going to be touching Khachanov there, are you? This one's much better. We've got Joao Fonseca and Jensen Brooksby. Are we all ready for this one? Hey, I'm looking forward to watching this. Currently getting Joao Fonseca around 1.4. This opened up at 1.3. Yeah, that's right. 1.53. Pardon me. Opened up at 1.53. And that's now currently sitting at 1.4. Quite a bit of cash coming on Joao Fonseca. I expect nothing less. He looked decent against Jacob Fernley. He looked fairly decent against Jacob Fearnley, straight sets, 6-4, 6-1, and then a tiebreaker. Jacob Fearnley didn't look too great last time out against Garin, but you still can't take nothing away from the young Brazilian there. Just too good. Just too good. I do think Fonseca has got a bit more about him, if not a lot more about his game, than the likes of Jacob Fearnley. Probably same goes for Jensen Brooksby as well. I think Fonseca's just, we all know the potential within. We can all see it from a mile off. There's no denying how good he is. But you cannot deny the form of Jensen Brooksby, man. You just can't. He made Talon Griekspoor look like a fucking idiot the other day. And look, the same applies for pretty much everyone that pulled off somewhat of an upset in the first round. I don't want to take anything away from them, but putting it politely, there was a good chunk of them that I feel like the opponents that they got didn't exactly bring the best version of the game. Far from it. Talon Griekspoor being one of them. Straight sets against him. Griekspoor did just come off that title as well in Mallorca. Only played, 4 games? I think it was 3 games. So I don't know if he was just a bit fucking tired or what. It makes no sense. He looked like a complete shell of himself in that one. But like I say, I don't want to take it away from Jensen Brooksby. Because even prior to that, he was fantastic over in Eastbourne as well. Commissania, Nuno Borges, Dan Evans all in straight sets. Hugo Humbert in 3. And then he had a decent match. Well, he had a decent first set against Taylor Fritz in the final, 7-5. And then it just unravelled eventually in the second, 6-1. That could just be the level. It could be fatigue. I wouldn't be too sure. I wouldn't really say fatigue because, like I say, he turned up and looked absolutely fantastic against Talon Griekspoor. He's currently sitting at 3 on the decimal. That's a 2-1 dog for Jensen Brooksby. Now, this is the price in it. This is usually the price you'd have to pay for Fonseca. I imagine it's going to be the same as it is every time we talk about him. There'll be loads going for him. There'll be loads staying away from it. I'm fully aware that he is more than capable of beating Jensen Brooksby on the day. I know that. Probably today too. I wouldn't put it past him. But like I said, I cannot deny the current form of Jensen Brooksby. This guy's went 7-4 on the grass so far this year. Fonseca's went 2-2. 1.4. Something stinks in the garden. I'll just say it. I'm not feeling the 1.4 with Joao Fonseca, although I won't be surprised if he gets this one done. That spread is currently at 4.5. If you wait a bit, I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but you may very well just get 5.5 with Jensen Brooksby come a bit of time before the match tomorrow. So if you've got a bit of patience, maybe just stick 1 unit on, a bit of patience, ride this one out, see if you can get 5.5 tomorrow. If not, 4.5 right now for Jensen Brooksby. The way he's been playing, man, I mean, should be good for a set. Over 3.5 sets if you wanna play it safe, but please do let me know what side you're taking on that. I think I know you'll be going for, but I can't look past Jensen Brooksby in that. Not while he's playing like this. And then we've got Nicholas Jarry and Lehecka Tien. These are much better prices today. One thing I will say, although we got quite a lot of fuckery in that first round, I'm just hoping that we may get some overpriced players today and tomorrow. Just maybe, but we'll see how it goes. Nicholas Jarry clocking in around 1.7. 1.7. Now, these have just played each other in qualifying for Germany a couple weeks ago, and Nicholas Jarry beat Lehecka Tien 6-3, 6-4. How's he going to get on in a best of 5? I'm not too sure. He had a long one against Auger, which, let me just say, I for one can't believe. I'm not going to say I can't believe Nicholas Jarry won, because he's a decent player when he wants to play good. But I can't believe Auger, man. Can you believe that guy? It's scandalous, innit? It's so scandalous, man. Was that the worst beat so far of the tournament? I don't know. There may have been one more. Going 2 sets up and then letting them all go. That may have been the worst beat we've had so far. I don't know. You let me know if you can find a worse one than that. But that makes it 4 in a row. Makes it 4 in a row, makes it 5 in the last 6 for Nicolas Jarry since he went over to Germany. He only lost the 1 game, and that was in qualifying as well. Tien, man, I mean, does this guy ever get tired? Does this guy ever run out of energy? I mean, it takes a lot to run this kid in the ground. It just seems like he's got bags of stamina. It does. And he's fairly decent as well. He is. Maybe a little bit more better than what I give him credit for, although I am rather aware of his game. Got it done against Fery in the first round, but that doesn't really mean much to me. Nishesh doesn't really possess the firepower, as it were, to hang on these courts, if you'd ask me. Although he was fairly decent on the hard court, I don't know, I just don't think he suits the grass. I don't. I think if you come up against someone who's just going to hit a little bit harder than you, I feel like you've got Nishesh right in the palm of your hand. But still, decent win from Tien, nevertheless. Tiebreaker in the first, 6-3 and then 6-2. Just got easier as the match went on. Now Tien's currently 2.35 as a dog. Am I seeing 2.35? He opened up around 2.5. How was Nicolas Jarry going to hold up in this one after going pretty much the distance with Auger? It was a long game. 5 sets compared to the 3 for Tien. I imagine Tien's probably going to be in better shape. Am I leaning towards Tien in this one? What am I becoming? What is happening to me? I don't mind it, especially as a dog price. I do not mind it. Nicolas Jarry, though, I mean, just be aware. Just be aware. We're more than aware of this, but just approach it with a little bit of caution. Nicolas Jarry, I've said all season, haven't I? I've been waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to snap into a bit of form. It seems like he may or may not have came into a little bit of form towards the end of the grass campaign. I'm not too sure. But if he turns up and beats Tien, you'll be sitting there saying, it was staring us right in the face. So I'll probably stay off this one. Over 3.5 would be the safe route in that one. And then, this will be a quick one. We've got Mannarino and Valentin Royer. Mannarino's been decent as well. Come through qualifying, as is Valentin Royer. Both of these come through qualifying relatively unscathed. Mannarino got it done against Christopher O'Connell. Very easy. We kind of knew that he would. He'd done that not that long ago. And then more impressively, Valentin Royer ended up getting it done against Tsitsipas due to retirement. But from what I've seen, he looked fairly decent. 6-3 and then 6-2, and then it was all over. Just like that. Good shit. Now, if I was him, I would more than fancy myself against the likes of a Mannarino. Just based on that I was giving it to Tsitsipas. But with him pulling out, there's just not a lot that I can take from that. Unfortunately, Mannarino, I know what I'm going to get every single time. He is an absolute nightmare to deal with. He's a nightmare to play against. And if you've never played against him before, which Valentin Royer has not, but are you in for one? You're in for a test, man. You're in for a game of tennis here like no other. You really are. It's not going to be 100 mile an hour smash and sit, nothing like that. It's just going to be a very technical game of tennis. This guy's strokes are so flat. Them balls come out so flat, don't they? They barely bounce off the floor, barely bounce off the surface, and we've seen pretty much everyone over the past couple of seasons struggle with the likes of Adrian Mannarino. Sitting at 1.56, it's not a bad price. Not a bad price at all for the crafty veteran in that one. But we shall move on to Andrei Rublev and Lloyd Harris. This has got fucking eruption written all over it, has it not? Currently getting Rublev at 1.3. They've played each other 3 times over the years, and Rublev has won every single one. Lloyd Harris never really coming close to beating Rublev, and I wouldn't have expected so either. I really wouldn't. He played each other in the French Open this year, not that long ago. That went the way of Rublev. Beat him in Wimbledon 2021. They don't really matter. That's some time ago. The 1.3 is what I'm focused on the most. I just don't like it. I just don't. You already know what I'm gonna say. It's Rublev again. It's the same stuff every time. I know he's better than Lloyd Harris. I know this. The head-to-head would suggest that. I don't need stats and numbers to tell me that Rublev is a better player than Lloyd Harris. Not even just on the day. He just is. But what is Rublev gonna be like? You just don't know. We don't know. And it's just like you going on and repeating yourself every single time. It just swings and roundabouts with Andrei Rublev. Well, it has been this season anyway. 3-game winning streak. Call it a 2. Actually, no, don't call it. Yeah, 3-game winning streak. It's the Boodles, innit? Got past Laszlo Jarry 3-1. I think he still made that a little bit harder than what it needed to be. I thought that was destined for 5 sets in the end. It looked like it was going to be done in 3. Then it looked like it could have went 5. And if it would have went 5, I'm not too certain he would have been able to pull through to the other side of that one. We know what he's like. Lloyd Harris, on the other hand, very solid performance against Zizou Bergs. But like I said earlier on, I don't think Zizou Bergs really turned up. Zizou buns, like I said in the first video, I was a little bit disappointed. I know he can play much better than that, but you can't take it away from Lloyd Harris. He most definitely comes to play. And whoever that girl was in the crowd that was fucking screaming for him after every point. Jesus Christ, don't bring her, don't let her come for this one. Otherwise, Rublev's fucked. She'll get to him. If that female Lloyd Harris fan turns up to this one today, Andrei Rublev's mind is gonna fucking erupt. You just know it. I'm worried. Like I am in every Rublev game. And rightly so. 1.3. It's quite the price to pay for Rublev to ruin your day. That used to be the quote with Felix, and it still is. But I feel like it most definitely applies to this guy nowadays. 1.3. There you go. It's up to you. You pick your poison on that one. Just don't come crying to me if Rublev just shits this one away. You've been warned. And we've got Nuno Borges and Billy Harris. Alright, okay. Very, very interesting indeed. We're getting Nuno Borges around 1.6, and I don't think you need me to tell you. We can expect Nuno Borges. We understand why Nuno Borges is favoured to get this one done. 37 in the world as opposed to 151 for the Brit. But we've seen Billy Harris put in a couple of decent performances this week. Mainly over in Eastbourne, operating as a dog, I just may add. Norrie, Matteo Bellucci bumped into Ugo Humbert. And then he played Dusan Lazovic in the first round, got past him in straight sets. Relative ease as well, 6-3, 6-2, 6-4. Nuno Borges, man, he got it done against Cerundolo, didn't he? Cerundolo is a decent favourite in there. Nuno Borges come in, drop the first set like we said he would. That guy just can't help himself. He loves dropping sets. But then he come back and rattled off 3 in a row, 6-3 tiebreak and then a bagel. Solid shit. I think Billy Harris may be in a spot of bother if Nuno Borges turns up and plays the way he did in that Cerundolo match. I think he's better. I'm obviously going to support me boy. I'm not just going to pick it blindly, especially as a homer pick, because I want him to win. I'd love him to win. Do I think he's going to win? I think it's a big ask. Although upsets are most definitely not off the cards for this tournament, especially off that first round. This wouldn't be an upset whatsoever compared to some of the ones we've had already. Over 3.5. I always say, Nuno Borges, I always say this guy loves dropping sets. He can't help himself. It's like he does it on purpose. He's like the metal bat from One Punch Man. Sometimes he just needs to take a bit of punishment in order to make himself stronger. I'd fancy him to get that one done. I don't like backing against me boys going against them, but if I'm being real, Nuno Borges should have that one in the bag on the day. And then we've got Norrie and Big Foe. Good old Foe, we meet again. but under different circumstances this time because we're on the grass. How do we approach this? How do we approach this? I know I'm going to approach it. I'm just going to swerve it. I'm just going to approach it and then go, oh fuck, look at this. Let's just detour around this one. I just can't. I was more impressed with Cam Norrie in the win against Bautista Agut in the first round than what I was with Big Foe against Elmer Moller. Can't really take much away from that. Getting Foe at 1.6. I just can't. And you know what? I'm not even going to bother looking through because I can't even remember the exact reason why I don't bother with Big Foe or why I took a step back. The record is there. I scrolled down, but I fear I'm going to remember and it's just going to ruin me fucking night. So there was a reason. I can't remember why, but it was a very good one. I just can't trust him anymore. I just can't trust him. Because what do I always say? I just can't seem to get it right with Big Foe. I just can't. It seems like when you're certain he's going to turn up and smoke someone, he does the complete opposite. It's quite the contrary. And then the games where I'm never really sure, I feel like there's some danger heading the way of Francis Tiafoe, he just gets it done. Straight sets like it's not him. Now I'm fairly confident he can beat Cam Norrie on the day. He's done it before. They've played each other 5 times before. Cam Norrie's won 3. Big Foe's won 2. He won the most recent of the lot as well. That was in Vienna last year. Played once on the grass. That went the way of the Brit. Tough. Very tough. Very dicey. I wouldn't like to go against Cam Norrie in a spot like this. I wouldn't. I mean, he should be good enough for a set. It's Wimbledon. He's at home. He should have enough of that crowd behind him to feel inspired to take at least a set off Big Foe. But then again, I don't think he'd do Big Foe in straight sets. I don't really think Francis Tiafoe is going to do Cam Norrie the way he done Elmer Moller. So over 3.5 would be the way to go in that one. And I think we're halfway there. That's cool. It's cool with me. Next up, we've got Felix, Auger Aliassime, and Jan-Lennard Struff. Danger. I think Felix is entering the danger zone here, isn't he? Head-to-head 3-2 to the Canadian. He beat him in the Australian Open earlier on this year. These have never played each other on the grass. Does make it a little bit more interesting. Probably, I think Struff stands a well better chance on the grass against Felix. Let's be real. He's never really done anything. Never really done anything on the grass for quite some time anyway. 2-2 last year, 1-2 the year before that, 5-5. It's not great. It's most definitely not a strong suit, whereas we know Jan-Lennard Struff can most definitely turn up and bully people on these surfaces. He looked good against Filip Mislic, 3-1. He looked a lot better than what Felix did against James Duckworth. I'll give him that. Madness. He's barely 1.4 as well. 1.4, I don't know, it's a bit steep. You're going to have to do a lot better against DuckTales if you want me to even consider you at 1.36 to 1.4. Nuts. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg, as the song goes. Shout out to the DuckTale fans, to fucking belter. I wouldn't mind taking Struff, or at least considering Struff anyway, on the price. 1.4, I don't like that. Although, you know, the 2 sets that Felix had to come back and win, he did play fairly decent. Just the 1 break, and then played very well behind the serve. This could be an over. Very well could be over 3.5. Both of these for a set, maybe. Struff comes out and serves well. You know what he can do. You know the damage that he can cause to pretty much anyone. Especially someone like Felix. If it just comes down to a serve match and who's going to hold the nerve, Felix is dropping 2, going the distance with James DuckTales. So, Struff for the 1 probably equals to over 3.5. Look at Struff on the points or something, maybe not, probably not enough. I wouldn't mind going with the German as a slight dog pick, and that over 3.5 sets would be the ideal look. Then we've got Jarry Lehecka and Bellucci. I'll be going with Lehecka on this. It's barely 1.2. Barely 1.2. And I think that tells you all you need to know. Both of these are the fairly decent opponents in the first round. Hugo Delene for Lehecka and then Crawford for the Italian. Both have been good. I say both have been good. Matteo Bellucci was awful prior to the grass. Most definitely seems to have found a little bit of form since we headed on over to Eastbourne. And then it's carried on into Wimbledon too. He looked fairly decent against Crawford, but I knew he'd win. Same with Lehecka. We knew he'd beat Hugo Delene too. I thought Jarry Lehecka looked decent over in Queens. Had a fairly decent run over there. Alex de Minaur, Gabe Diallo, Jacob Fernley, Jack Draper getting beat by Carlos Alcaraz in the final. I always say I am a massive fan of Jarry Lehecka. He is a solid player. Much better, much more trustworthy than Matteo Bellucci, especially when he's in form such as the one he's in. You'd have to go with him. I couldn't see anything other than a Lehecka win. However, he wants to go about his business is entirely up to him. 1.2, that is the price you're having to pay for that today. And then Oliver Tarvet and Carlos Alcaraz. 1.01. That's right, I'll repeat it. 1.01. You know what we do with these big dogs? Massive spreads, very small totals. It's the only way you can look. But then again, these big spreads, I do say all the time, and I'll just remind you, there is the odd exception. I think the spread's 9.5. There is just one or two exceptions in a spot like this, and it is Carlos Alcaraz, and it's usually Jannik Sinner as well. Wouldn't be surprised if Alcaraz covers that 9.5. As a matter of fact, I think it's more likely that he covers that 9.5 than the Brit, although I'll most definitely be cheering for me guy in this one. I don't think he stands a chance. I don't. It's okay to dream, isn't it, folks? It's more than fine. It's a dream. But it's going to be Alcaraz coming out as the winner in that, I imagine. And who have we got next? Christian Garin, Artur Rinderknech. These should be a little bit quicker, these ones. Christian Garin, folks? I haven't really seen much of this guy recently. Didn't even get through qualifying. 5 sets with Zeppieri. Ended up losing that one. Gifted the lucky loser. These lucky losers, folks? We've seen them do some bits the past few weeks. Christian Garin came in as a lucky loser against Chris Radesh. Now, Radesh was a big favourite, well, a decent favourite against Carbias Baena, Carreño Busta, before he pulled out. And in hindsight, it looks like Carreño Busta may have just smacked the shit out of him. So that's what Christian Garin done. Straight sets, easy as you like. Tiebreaker, 6-4, 6-4. Nice. Light work. But Artur Rinderknech, though, man, oh man. This guy has Artur Rinderknech just pulled off the biggest upset of the tournament so far in taking out Alexander Zverev. I think he has. What was Zverev seeded in this third? Probably would have been, right? That's the biggest upset. I don't care what anyone says. It took him 5 sets to do it, but whether it was 3, whether it was 5, good shit from Artur Rinderknech. You know, the past 2 days have really kind of blown this draw wide open, especially for Jack Draper as well, with Bublik getting beat. We'll touch on that more tomorrow, but it looks like his draw's gotten just that little bit easier, doesn't it? I think Artur Rinderknech beats Christian Garin. He who beats Zverev usually possesses the key to get past the likes of Christian Garin, and we'll just leave it at that. And we've got Kamil Majchrzak, Ethan Quinn. Good game. Tough one to predict. I'm looking forward to watching it. Who's the favourite in this? I haven't even checked. Ethan Quinn, 1.7. I don't hate it. Straight off the bat, I will say this. Kamil Majchrzak pulling off a massive upset against Matteo Berrettini. Ethan Quinn getting it done against Henry Searle a lot easier than what Majchrzak did, but I imagine Berrettini would give you a little bit more than what Searle would on the day. That's a tough one, man. Given you've just beat Matteo Berrettini, you're still a dog coming up against Ethan Quinn. Why is that? Is it because Ethan Quinn is just a better player? I think it could be. I've managed to learn quite a lot about Ethan Quinn. Not only just this season, more so over the past couple months. There's a few years in the comments who seem to be well informed on this guy. I've quite informed on the law. The thing is, with lads like this, these young tennis players, especially from the States, we get so many of them. There's so many of them, that relentless tennis machine over in America is just, it doesn't stop. It is a relentless pursuit for a world number one, and you've got to respect it. But more often than not, you see young lads either come through the college system or they just come out of nowhere, and they'll get overhyped, and you watch them, and before you know it, they're in the mid-20s and they're on the Challenger Tour. It's essentially over. I don't think that's the case with Ethan Quinn. I really don't. I think this kid's good. I do. I think he's a lot better than what I thought he was going to be. Yet to do anything fucking massive. Well, I'm yet to see him do anything massive anyway. He's had some decent runs here and there. What better time to do it than Wimbledon? I think this is a prime time for him. 1.7, I think the ceiling with Ethan Quinn is much, much higher than it is with Kamil Majchrzak, and that's not taking anything away from the Polish. He's a solid player, much more experienced. He should be able to handle the game of Ethan Quinn, but I don't know, man. Majchrzak's never really done that much on the grass. He's had a decent season here and there, but it's most definitely not a strong suit. Ethan Quinn just seems to be playing good wherever you put him this season. 11-6 on the clay, 16-7 on the hard, 3-2 indoors, 4-2 on grass. Like I say, if you're going to beat Berrettini, you'd imagine you'd be a nice little favourite against someone like Ethan Quinn. But I think that's testament to the level of this kid, I really do. There's still a long way to go. I'm certain of that. But I've been able to identify the player within, and there's most definitely something there that's worth keeping an eye on with this with the young American. I think he can get past Majchrzak. I do. I think it'll be a close game. Ultimately, I think Quinn might just be a little bit too strong on the day. Over 3.5. Anyone? Over 3.5 sets seems a safe one, right? Be surprised if either one of these comes out and just tanks the other easy as 1, 2, 3. But I'll be leaning towards the American to get that one done. I suppose I'm kind of cheering to get him done. I sounded like a proper fanboy then, didn't I? Jesus Christ, what is happening to me? But yeah, let's go get it. Ethan Quinn squad. No, let's not. We won't do that. Let's not disrespect the Draper squad. But let's see what he's got. You never know. There most definitely could be room for an Ethan Quinn squad in the future. But let's see. He's got to get past Kamil Majchrzak first. And then there's Jordan Thompson and Benjamin Bonzi. Benjamin Bonzi, good old Benjamin Button. What did you do to Daniel Medvedev? You upset a lot of people doing that to Daniel Medvedev. I didn't go anywhere near that, and I'm fucking glad as well. But I see Medvedev in 3, Medvedev minus the 1.5 sets, Medvedev on the spread, just Medvedev everywhere you looked on the first day. And Bonzi just turned up and went, oh no, not today. I'll just say not today in French. Someone let me know. Well, that's what he said. Jordan Thompson. Look, on paper, it looks like a decent win over Vic Capriva. Vic Capriva is a decent player. Maybe not that much of a grass player, especially not in the same ballpark as a Jordan Thompson on the surface. He had to come back. He did have to come back from 2 sets down. Quite the implosion from Vic Capriva. Decent enough from Thompson, but the fact that you were in that position in the first place is quite concerning. You could look at it one or two ways and say, he played really good in the comeback because he pretty much had to. Or you could say it weren't really that much, it weren't that convincing of a performance. I don't know. Either which way you swing it, I suppose the end result's the same. Are you going to go against Bonzi after he's just done that to Medvedev? He looked good as well. He looked really good, man. 1.5 is that? That's 1.5 for Benjamin Bonzi. This opened up around 1.62. Bit of cash coming in on the Frenchman, and rightly so. You know, it's usually the case where he who takes out these top-ranked players is usually good enough to beat a Jordan Thompson, but stranger things most definitely happen on the ATP Tour pretty much every day. I'd have to go with Bonzi. Just off the back of the Medvedev performance, I would have to go with him. Not picking it with a lot of conviction, but it'll have to stand. It'll have to be that way, folks. Bonzi or nothing for me. And then you've got 3 more, okay. So we've got Borges, Van der Sandschulp, and Davidovich, Fokina. Nah, absolutely not. I'm alright, Jack. I'm just gonna chill. I want nothing to do with this one. I think Davidovich Fokina beats him. He's played him 4 times before, and he's beat him 3 of the 4. Twice on the grass as well. Well, they've played each other twice on the grass. Pardon me, 1 apiece on the grass, and then Davidovich Fokina's beat him twice on the clay. Not played each other for 2 years. How is this one gonna look over in Wimbledon? Although the last time he played was in Wimbledon, that did go the way of the Spaniard. And if you're going to beat him then, I imagine he's going to beat him now. It seems weird to say, but Davidovich Fokina has actually been one of the most, well, not one of the most, but one of the more consistent players we've had on the tour this season, and I most definitely didn't see that one coming. 27 wins, 15 losses. He's been good, hasn't he? He's been good, man. And when he turns up to play, he can play at a very serious level, and he's trouble for the majority. He's went 4-1 on the grass so far. Van der Sandschulp's went 1-1. He's had a bit of a shitter. This guy's been in the mud throughout the majority of this season, to say the least. 11 wins, 16 losses. I mean, the fact that you've just beat Matteo Arnaldi in straight sets, that should do quite a bit for your confidence. I would have thought so, but you can never trust this guy. You couldn't trust this guy as far as you could throw him. As for Davidovich Fokina, we've seen much more from him. Like I say, there was a point in time where Davidovich Fokina weren't exactly the most trustworthy sort either, but I think it's different now. Oh, how the times change. I'll be going with Davidovich Fokina, and that 1.25, 1.3 seems a little bit steep if you ask me. Bit of a price to pay, but that's the price you are most certainly going to be paying for that one. And we've got Arthur Fery, Luciano Darderi. It's just screaming over 3.5 sets to me, this. It's screaming over 3.5 sets. Odds are split right down the middle. Thought both look fairly decent. First time out, Arthur Fery, more importantly so, against Alexei Popyrin, come into that as a big dog and made Popyrin look like a damn fool. That's right. Good shit from Darderi against Roman Safiullin as well, but it's a very winnable game, even for a Luciano Darderi, who is most definitely suited to the clay courts. 2-4 on the grass this year for the Italian, 4-1 for the Brit. He's at home. He could get this one done. I'd be a bit surprised, you know. He's a slight favourite depending where you look. You can get either one of these as a slight dog compared to the other, depending where you find it. I don't know, man. I just think we've seen a lot more from Luciano Darderi as far as a tall level player goes. Okay, he tends to look somewhat lost when he's not playing on the clay. He most definitely does if not all the damage over on the dirt. But I don't know, man. Arthur Fery, 461 in the world. That didn't mean fuck all against Alexei Popyrin, evidently. But it might mean something against Darderi because he's decent, you know. He is a decent player. Like I say, even the game. Oh my God, I can't even speak. I'm losing my throat, Jesus Christ, I am losing my voice. I do apologise. The games that we've seen from Darderi previously, even the one that he's lost, he's looked decent, man. He's been taking sets, and he always comes to play. He's got that fight in him, and I respect the fuck out of that. Arthur Fery might still just be a little bit wet behind the ears. Bags of confidence after that win against Popperin. I would have anyway, if that was me. I'd love him to win this. I'm just not brave enough to take him at that price. It's a coin flip, apparently. I don't know. I think Darderi's much more proven at tour level. Certainly not on the grass, but I don't know. Arthur Fery's, he's very unseasoned. They've been playing the same amount of time as each other. Both started in 2019, yet Darderi's 59th in the world. Arthur Fery is 461. Maybe that tells you all you need to know. And we shall wrap this up with good old Taylor Fritz and Gabe Diallo. What's going to happen in this one? You'd probably just assume Taylor Fritz is going to win this. I would. I don't know whether I'm just being foolish or blind, or whether it's just a cop-out, but fucking hell, I mean, look how good Taylor Fritz has been on the grass, man. He's been the best. I think he's been one of the best anyway. 9 wins, 1 loss. Gabe Diallo, though, I mean, if Taylor Fritz has been one of the best, Diallo comes right behind him. 9 wins and 2 losses. Got himself a title, just like Fritz. This is going to be a banger. This has got all the makings to be an absolute classic. I'm very, very pleased that they've left this one to last. Taylor Fritz, 1.3. Damn, I don't know what I expected, but I don't think I expected that. Then again, you think, have these played each other before? I don't think they have right now. We've never seen this one before. Would have made it a little bit easier if we had. We can't deny the form of Gabe Diallo. We've just got to give him the credit. We know how good he's been playing. If anyone's going to give Taylor Fritz some trouble, it's going to be the likes of Gabe Diallo. Fuck me, he barely got past Guillaume Petit-Pericard. I had me doubts, I had me worries, I was a little bit concerned, but he pulled through nevertheless. How's he going to get on against Big Diallo, man? He's not going to go away. He can serve really big, maybe not as powerful as Gio, but he can serve really fucking big, and he can move 10 times better. He can navigate that court a lot better than the likes of Petit-Pericard. I think Taylor Fritz may be in for another tough one here. I do. I really do. He's played a lot of games, man. I mean, the fitness of Taylor Fritz must be on point. I'll give him that. This guy is in fantastic shape. Getting to the final in Stuttgart, winning the title in Eastbourne right after that, and then coming into Wimbledon, going 5 sets with Gio. I don't know, man. If this was, we've seen a lot of people crumble without even getting half the distance of what Taylor Fritz have got the past few weeks in these tournaments, so you've got to tip your cap to that. I don't think it's wise to go against the American in this. He's just been too good. He's been too solid. That save is unbelievable. And it seems to be definitely seems to be what's getting him by the past couple of weeks. When all else fails, he's just crushing that save exactly when he needs to. That may or may not just be the deciding factor once again in this. I would not be surprised if it was. Over 3.5 sets, you'll get a beautiful price for that. He's dropped 2 against Gio. Gabe Diallo didn't drop a single one against Altmaier. He came out and just fucking roasted that guy. Take him for the sets. Take the over 3.5. Take Diallo to keep it close. Might get a tiebreaker. Multiple ways you could approach that one. But I think we're going to leave it there, because we're touching on 50 minutes again and we didn't have this many games. But like I said at the start of the week, you get to talk about them a little bit more in depth when there's not as many. But very well, folks. Appreciate you stopping by, as always. Means a lot to me. I appreciate your time. You like and subscribe, yeah? Appreciate it if you've done. That'd be cool if you did. What am I going for? I don't even know. I'm not too sure. I've got a couple of targets here. I may have acquired a target or two. If it's in the pinned comments, it is. If it's pinned, it's pinned. If it's not, it's not. But I'll be saying good night to you folks. You take it easy, yeah? You take care of yourselves. You take care of one another. Sorry, I haven't been replying. The past couple of days I've just been a little bit busy. I've just been chilling, watching these matches as well. And I've really enjoyed Wimbledon. I hope you have too. The best is yet to come, I am certain of that. But get yourselves involved. Let me know what you're going for. I wish you all the best. See you later, yeah? Best of luck today. Enjoy the matches, and I shall see you all tomorrow.